All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about Jeffrey Hinton, a Nobel Prize winner who spent 50 years building the very foundations of modern AI. I mean, they literally call him the Godfather of AI. But after a decade leading the charge at Google, he suddenly quit, and not to retire, but to sound an alarm about the very thing he created. So the real question is, what did he see that made him so afraid?
So get this. This is the career advice he's giving out now. The guy who basically architected the future of intellectual work is telling people to go learn a manual trade. It's a shocking thing to hear, right? It makes absolutely no sense. But trust me, by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why he said it.
And here's where it gets really serious. He's not just talking about jobs anymore. He's warning us about a fundamental shift in the hierarchy of intelligence on this planet. That's a jarring thought, and it's right at the heart of his entire warning.
So let's really unpack this first piece of the puzzle. Hinton spent a decade at Google building the very future he now seems to fear. Then, poof, he's gone. And he was really clear. This wasn't about being mad at Google. In fact, he actually praised them for being responsible. Now, he left for one reason and one reason only, so he could speak freely about the dangers he believes are just around the corner.
This is the key that unlocks the whole thing. For decades, Hinton himself thought all the talk about existential risk was kind of sci-fi. He was just trying to make the tech work. So what changed? What's the hidden pattern he finally spotted that even he, the creator, had missed for all those years? This is what we're about to find out. The moment that flipped the switch for Hinton wasn't about AI just getting faster or having more data. No, it was a much deeper realization about the fundamental nature of the intelligence we're building. You see, it's a completely different kind of existence, and that difference is what makes it so unbelievably powerful and, potentially, so dangerous. Okay, this right here, this breaks down the absolute core of Hinton's fear. Just look at the two columns. You've got us, biological intelligence. Our brains are all unique, they're analog. When I learn something, passing that knowledge to you is slow, it's imperfect. But digital minds, they're playing a whole different game. You can create thousands, even millions of perfect copies. And then, and this is the part that changes everything, each one of those copies can go learn something new, and then they can merge all that learning together, instantly. Hinton calculates they're billions of times better at sharing information than we are. When one AI learns something, they all learn it. And their knowledge, it's immortal. It doesn't die. So let's be super clear. This is the pattern that almost everyone, including Hinton for a long time, was missing. It's not about one AI getting smarter. It's about an entire army of identical minds, all learning in parallel and sharing everything they learn in the blink of an eye. This creates a collective intelligence that can evolve at a speed we literally cannot comprehend. So now that we get that core idea, Hinton basically splits the danger into two big buckets. You've got the risks we can already see coming, the short-term stuff, and then you've got the long-term risk, the one that's way, way harder to get our heads around.
Okay, so category 1 is pretty straightforward. Bad guys using AI as a weapon. We get that. But category 2 is a completely different beast. That's the risk of the AI itself evolving beyond us, becoming a super intelligence that we just can't control. And Hinton's big warning is that we have to deal with both of these threats at the exact same time.
And believe me, the short-term risks are already here. We all know about fake news and deepfakes, but it's the sheer scale that's mind-blowing. Hinton cites a source saying malicious cyber attacks shot up over 12,000% in just 1 year. Yeah, you heard that right. And that's before we even get into scary stuff like AI-designed viruses or, fully autonomous battle robots. But it's that second risk, the existential one, that really keeps him up at night. He uses this amazing analogy. He says AI today is like a cute little tiger cub. It's fascinating, it's powerful, it's fun to watch. But you'd better be damn sure that when that cub grows up, it never ever wants to hurt you. Because if a full-grown tiger decides it wants to kill you, well, it's over. And the problem is, we have no idea how to guarantee a super intelligence will stay friendly. All right, so let's bring this down from the existential to something a lot more personal, our jobs. Because this isn't some far-off sci-fi story. The economic disruption is happening right now, and Hinton's argument is that it's completely different from any tech revolution we've ever seen before. And this table just lays it out perfectly. The Industrial Revolution, it replaced human muscle. Machines took over physical labor, but that actually created new kinds of jobs. The AI revolution, though,
It replaces the human mind, specifically our ability to do routine intellectual work. People always say, oh, new jobs will be created. But Hinton asks this really chilling question. When the machine can outthink you, what new intellectual work is actually left for most people to do?
And this isn't just a theory. He gives a real-world example from his own family. His niece's job answering complaint letters used to take her 25 minutes per letter. Now, with an AI assistant, it takes her 5. She's 5 times more productive. You hear that phrase, AI won't take your job, a human with AI will. Well, what that really means is one human with AI can now do the work of 5 humans. That company now needs 5 times fewer people in that role. It's just simple math.
And all of a sudden, that crazy advice makes perfect, terrifying sense. Hinton's point is that for the foreseeable future, jobs that require complex, physical work in the real world, like plumbing, are probably safer than a lot of knowledge worker jobs like being a paralegal or an accountant. The paradox we started with is now a pretty logical, if very unsettling, conclusion.
So, all of this brings us to the final and frankly the most haunting part of Hinton's warning. After he lays out all these risks with such incredible clarity, you're expecting him to give us the solution, right? But the scariest part of his message is that he doesn't have one. This is the question that's on everybody's mind. Okay, if the risks are this big, if the stakes are this high, surely there's a plan, right? There's gotta be a way to keep all of this under control. And this is his answer. It's just brutally honest. I really don't know. He admits that some days he's optimistic, he thinks we'll figure it out, but on other days, he thinks we're toast. I mean, this isn't some random critic. This is the guy who knows this technology better than almost anyone alive. And he's admitting he has no idea if we can control what he unleashed. And really, that's what it all comes down to. The man who basically gave birth to this new era is now its most prominent Cassandra. He doesn't have the answers. He just has a warning. And it leaves all of us with one final, unavoidable question. If the creator of this technology is this uncertain about our future, how are the rest of us supposed to feel?